Let me say something that might sound strange at first. You're not burned out, you're vision starved. There is a difference between being tired and ultimately disconnected. You know that feeling when your days start to blur together? You're doing what you've always done, you're showing up, you're meeting expectations, you're handling your responsibilities, you're handling your business. But somewhere deep and down, you feel it. The quiet ache that says, hey man, this isn't it. This wasn't what you were made for. And at times it can be confusing because on paper, nothing's wrong. You're productive, you're busy, you might even be achieving. But something in you knows that you're drifting. You're checking boxes, yes, but you're not building anything that makes you feel alive. Most people think that burnout happens because they've done too much. But I would submit to you that burnout happens because you're doing too much of what doesn't matter to you and too little of what actually does. You've been producing without purpose, moving without meaning, and listen up, bruh, hear me out, sis. No amount of caffeine, vacation, motivational quotes can fix that because you don't need another pep talk. You need a vision for your life. Motivation can start that fire, but it will be the vision that sustains it. Motivation is the first spark. It gets things going. But vision is the steady flame that keeps you warm when life gets cold. This is part 1 of our Vision Unlocked series, and I'm glad you're here because I've come to tell you that you don't need to be hyped. You need to be anchored. You don't need more noise. You need more direction. You don't need to do more. You need to see more. So in part 1, I'm gonna help you shift from chasing hype to building a life that has direction, purpose, and focus again. Let's be real, motivation feels amazing in the moment. It's the rush you get when something new starts. It's the energy after a powerful podcast, or maybe you're in church and the pastor snapped this morning. And then it is in that moment that we make the decision, you know what? I'm turning my life around. But a week later, your life ain't even started to turn. You're back to the very same routines, the very same habits, the very same distractions. And then the guilt sets in. What's wrong with me? Why can't I stay consistent? Nothing's wrong with you. You just built your foundation on motivation as opposed to vision. Motivation is the sugar high. Gives you a quick rush, but it doesn't last. Vision is nourishment. That's protein for your purpose. It builds you. Motivation says, I feel like it today. Vision says, I'll do it anyway because I know where I'm going. And here's the thing. You don't push through hard seasons because you're hyped up. And in fact, the only thing that can give you the power to push through is seeing the end beyond your current struggle. Some call it the light at the end of the tunnel. In Proverbs, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. Does it mean they die physically? It means they cast off restraint. They drift, they lose focus, and ultimately they become unanchored. And when you can't see your future clearly, you'll waste energy chasing distraction. You'll start projects you never finish. You'll say yes to things even though you know it drains you. You'll spend more time reacting to life than directing it. Think about driving through thick fog. You can still move the car, but you're cautious, you're anxious, you're guessing every second turn. Whoa, is that a deer? You slow down, you overcorrect, you grip the steering wheel tightly, all because you can't see where you're going. That's what life without a vision looks like. You're still going somewhere, you just don't know where. And every move, it feels uncertain because you can't see what's ahead. But when the fog starts to clear, it's like everything changes. You pick up speed, you drive with confidence again, you stop reacting and start directing. Write this down. Motivation moves me temporarily. Vision moves me continually. Oh yeah, it's gonna be like that this year. What's one area of your life where you've been surviving on motivation but starving for vision? For someone watching me, it's the job, it's your career. For someone watching me, it's the relationship they're in. For someone else, maybe it's your spiritual life. Wherever it is, don't beat yourself up, but do recognize it. Because awareness is where rebuilding begins. When you lose vision, you lose stability. Vision gives meaning to your movement. Without it, even good things that are good, start to feel pointless. That's why people can be successful by society's definition and still feel empty. It's not that they're doing the wrong things, it's that they've lost sight of why they're doing them. And whenever you lose vision, emotions take the driver's seat. And emotions are a good backseat driver, but baby, they should never have the wheel. Because when emotions have the wheel, one day you're driving towards passionate, the next day you're driving towards drained. It encounters one setback and one roadblock, and automatically you start questioning everything. And one of the things that I had to learn is when you don't have a clear vision, every detour feels like a disaster. It's an exhausting place to live because when vision fades, emotions take the driver's seat. And you might be there right now. Maybe you're in a season where you're working nonstop, producing, achieving, saying yes to everything. And you're starting to feel like you're running on empty. And you're telling yourself that you're just tired. But is it possible that you're not tired of working hard, you're tired of working aimlessly? Don't allow yourself to confuse progress with purpose. They can coexist, but they don't always coexist. And it's funny because you can have progress without purpose, but you can't have purpose without progress. Come on, somebody. But whenever you're so consumed with progress and forgetting about purpose, it's a dangerous place to be because you can move fast in the wrong direction. And if I just described your situation, I want you to remember this. When vision returns, energy returns. You get a zest for life and for living again. Peace returns. Because clarity doesn't just ground you, it guides you. You don't feel the need to escape your daily life. Because when you have vision, even your struggles start to make sense. Even your pain becomes purposeful. Because although vision might not remove difficulty, it will redeem it. So if you've lost your sense of direction, I'm gonna give you a framework here. I'm gonna call this the 3 R's of regaining vision. Here's where you start. Number 1, recognize. Notice where you've been drifting. Don't judge it, but name it. Where have you been busy but not becoming? Where have you traded progress for purpose? The second R is refocus. Strip away everything that is not aligned. Truly ask yourself, what matters to me most now? Simplify your attention and remember that vision always starts small before it grows wide. And the third R is rebuild. Align your habits, environment, and people with a renewed vision. The key here is don't wait for everything to feel right. Build now, even while it's messy. Vision isn't discovered, it's developed through action. And here's what's powerful. Every time you choose to refocus, you reclaim control. Because the greatest enemy of vision isn't failure, it's actually distraction. You can live by revelation or you can live by reaction. Many live on autopilot, constantly reacting to what's happening to them. But conversely, you can be the person that simply responds to what's happening inside of them. Revelation is divine clarity. It's when purpose replaces panic. It's when God whispers something that helps you see the same situation differently. Because we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. And once you begin to see things differently, what once overwhelmed you now instructs you. When you live by revelation, emotion is no longer driving the car. Pressure is no longer riding shotgun. Comparison hollering from the back seat. You stop chasing what looks successful and start following what feels assigned. Think of revelation like God's GPS. You might not see every turn, but you know the destination. That is enough to keep you moving even through fog. And the thing is, you might not understand every delay. Most of the time we don't. You might not love every detour. Most of the time, we don't. But revelation keeps you steady because you trust that every step counts. And here's the truth. God rarely gives us the whole map. He gives us the next step because it's not just our vision that's being revealed, but our character developed. And that is why clarity often comes after obedience. You take one faithful step and all of a sudden, the next path appears. I challenge you to do this. Take 10 minutes today in stillness. Turn off the phone, the music, no noise. Take a moment and ask the question, what's the next step for me in this season? And then write down what you hear. Don't try to plan the whole year. No. Listen for the next move. And once you write it down, take action. Because revelation without movement is just information. And the lesson here is the more you obey what you do know, the more what you don't know will be revealed to you. Listen, motivation will fade. Even discipline, at times it'll waver. But vision anchors you when everything else shifts. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Take the first step. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to know where you're going. When your why is clear, your how will find a way. That was part 1 of our vision series. Tune in to the next episode for part 2. And if you've enjoyed this video, I want you to comment below, I'm building vision. Say it until it sinks in. And I want to encourage you, you're not lazy, you're not stuck, you're not behind, and you're not burned out. You're just vision starved. And once your vision returns, so will your focus, your fire, and your fulfillment. You were never lost. You were just in the fog. But right now, it's clearing. Always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you on the next one.